Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers. And today we are going to actually go through an exercise where we're going to upload our faux book, our mock book, up to Lulu. So the steps to do the upload are very similar in some ways to KDP. But again, you have to have a KDP account to be able to do any type of uploads. Whereas with Lulu, I can upload before I even create my first account, or I can create my first account and not have to worry about anything. You can fill in all your extra stuff later. So when you first log into Lulu, and I've already logged in prior to starting, this is the page that I came to. Your page might vary a little bit, but once I log in, I can go and look at my previous orders. I can look at my account, or I can look at my projects. So what I'm going to do is, in order to get started on this book, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, and I'm going to go to Get Started. Okay. So I'm going to go to Get Started. I'm probably going to have to make a fake cover on the fly, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Get Started. And I says I want to create something. So it's asking me what I want to create. I got print book, photo book, notebooks. I've got calendars, comic books, magazines. I've got ebooks, cookbooks, and yearbooks. So I am going to, you can do regular books. If yours is going to be a regular book, if you want it to have a spiral to it, or it's going to be some type of notebook or journal, then you can choose this. If you're going to create a recipe book, again, you can choose this. So there's a lot of different options that they give you as a starting point. That makes it much easier to figure out which one to choose. And so that's why I like starting with Lulu instead of KDP, because KDP is not always 1000% clear on where to start. So since this is where I want to start, and I'm going to say, and I'm going to print a book, or I can print a notebook. It really doesn't matter. If I do print book options, it should take me down the path of asking me if I want to publish my book. Okay, so it's going to ask me my create a custom print book. Let's see. It's going to ask me my size. And if you're not really sure what an A5 size is, which is the most popular, you can go and do a Google search for that. US Trade, glossy, and then letter. So letter is 8.5 by 11 for sure. US Trade, and this one is glossy or matte finish with a stiff cover board. So this is a hardback, and this is a paperback. And these two, I believe, are the same exact size. It's just this is a soft and this is a hard. And again, you can go and take a look at, you can do a Google search for the actual dimensions for this. Whereas the letter is always going to be 8.5 by 11. And I want to point out something. With the letter book, this one says that it's hardcover and it's starting at $3.29 for a hardcover. Standard color 80 weight paper. So this is better because this one is 60 weight paper. This is the heavier paper. And it's starting at $3.29. Whereas this one is a hardcover and it's black and white, 60 weight paper, and it's starting at $9.14. The thing that you have is a case wrap on this with glossy or matte finish. So you have to keep that in mind. Even though this is a hardcover, I don't have that case wrap coming with this one. So that is a significant difference of about $6 because of that, and it's not even the same size book. The other thing is with the A5 paperback, you see the black and white, 60 weight paper, and it's starting at $2.18. Now, that doesn't mean that that's going to be your actual price. That just means that that's the starting, and I have no idea where that estimate starting is. If it's based on the number of pages, maybe they're just a 2-page book or something, or it's just the front and the back. I can't tell you that. You can always ask Lulu that question. So if you want to, if you need to download templates, you can see here that Lulu gives you the templates, and so does KDP. They'll give you the templates. But again, theirs is not as intuitive, in my opinion, in figuring out where you want to start and where to go as Lulu is, because then you can pick out what you want to do. So you see the dimensions here. You see the sizes and you see the dimensions. So it kind of gives you an idea of where you're going to be going. US trade says it's 6x9, whereas A5 says it's 5.83 by 8.27. So sorry, they're close in size, but not exactly the same. And the US trade was the hardback, whereas the A5 was the softback. And then you have the 8.5 by 11, which is, you have a lot of standard. So let me go make sure everybody's in the room. There we go. Okay. So going back to this, as I go through the process of getting ready to upload, okay, so I choose my popular format, and then it will take me through the process of getting started. Now I've already signed up, so I can choose any of these as my popular format, or if I already know what I want to do, I can start on my book. Okay, so I clicked on Start Print Book, and then once I choose that, again, it's going to take me through and ask me again, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a photo book? Do you want to do a comic book? And, so the staple is going to be in the middle for the comic book. Staple is going to be in the middle for a magazine. This is the yearbook, so of course that's going to be more of a hardback. You have a calendar here, and you have different sizes in the calendar, and you have an ebook. So it's like, okay, what do you want to do? So I'm going to go with print a book, and then I see these options for publishing my book. Now, if I go down the path of publishing my book, it's asking me if I want to publish my book to sell on Lulu, if I want to take advantage of the global distribution, which means my book will be sold through 40,000 global retailers using Lulu's service. Please note that the title page, copyright page, and ISBN are required. Okay, so you have to be mindful of that. Or if I choose and I'm going to do sell your book on your website or e-commerce store. And you can choose to do that as well. If you want to just sell your book directly on your website or e-commerce store, you can choose that. And like if you have a Shopify store, there's an integration that exists between Lulu and Shopify. So that when people buy it, it will automatically ship it to the customer. You don't have to do anything in the middle. Okay? So you can choose which one of these is applicable for you, or you can not do any of them. If you come and look on the little question thing, they're going to go through and explain some of the stuff, so you can download the explain. It's part of it. But basically, makes your book available through Amazon, makes it available through Ingram Catalog and a variety of ebook retailers. So they're going to make your book available on Amazon automatically if you choose that option. You're also going to pay some extra money for it. And again, you need to have your ISBN ready to go in order to start this process. Okay. All right. So I am not going to choose publish a book. If I choose that, then you could sell your book directly on Lulu's website as well. So I'm going to go ahead and choose print my book. And again, it's your call what you want to do. I'm going to call it training book 1. All right, so training book 1 is what I called it. Language is going to be English, very important to know, so that if they have to do anything extra, that they're able to do that. And then the category that you're going to sell your book in. So this has always been challenging for me. I always got to try to go figure out what everybody else has done or is doing. I think I've done mine under personal growth, and I've also done it under, I didn't do business and economics. I think the VA tried to get me to do that. But yeah, I think I did it under personal growth because I don't have an option for planners and notebooks and all that other stuff. So, and again, this is going to be based off of your project. So once you do that, they're going to ask you to upload your file for your faux book. And remember, we created a faux book. So we're going to go get our fake book and we're going to download it. So this is what I do want to tell you. When you get ready to download, if you're using Canva to create this, make sure that you're consistent, especially if your book is going to go over 2 projects or 3 projects, because sometimes Canva won't let you save, it won't auto save. And so the reason it won't auto save is because you have too many pages. So you have to take a page out and go put it in another project and start again. Typically for us, we've run into that. Like if you have a lot of colors and images and photos, the file size gets too big. And so Lulu will not save for you. So again, you want to take off maybe the last anywhere from 5 to 10 pages and move them to a new project. And then once you do that and you delete them from the original, then Lulu might save. And then you just have to be mindful of any changes you make to your first whatever number of pages, whether it's first 50 or 70 or whatever is in project 1, and then project 2 is the other remaining pages of your book. So that is a thing that you do need to be mindful of. But the other thing is when you get ready to download it, you have 2 different options. And we ran into this. So this is a lesson learned. Not that I fully understand the dramatic differences between the 2, but I'm just going to warn you about it. If you happen to have a book where you have a project 1 and a project 2, and it's all part of the same book, okay? So project 2 is a continuation of project 1. And so ultimately, at the end of the day, these 2 books are going to go together and be combined into one giant PDF. That's what I mean by project 1 and project 2. They will be combined into one giant PDF, not inside of Canva, but inside of Adobe. If you download, let's say project 1 is standard and you download project 2 as print, your book will not line up correctly. I don't know that I fully understand it, but we figured it out. It took us like a day to figure out what was happening because I think our project was on 3 projects. So we had project 1 combined with project 2 combined with project 3. And we uploaded it to Lulu, and none of our stuff was lined up the same. I was like, what's going on with these pages? And why is this off? Da, 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 da. So whatever you download the first project as, download the other projects as, if your book is separated. If your book is not separated, this is a non-issue for you, and you can ignore everything I just said. But if your book has to be separated into 2 projects or 3 projects because it's so big, then make sure you download all of them in the same PDF format, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just download it as standard. Not that I care. I really don't. It's a fake book. So I'm going to download it. And then I'm going to upload it to Lulu. I don't even know what I downloaded. Children. Okay, that's what I downloaded it at. I'm like, I didn't even know what I downloaded it at. Okay, so I'm going to upload this to Lulu. And Lulu is going to check the formatting. It's going to check whether or not there's like a bunch of overlays, whether or not it can read everything. Oh, transparency is detected. We detected elements that may be transparent within the file. We strongly recommend flattening and removing any transparencies. There you go. So that's a real message. But the file was uploaded. The file was successfully uploaded. So the transparency, I don't know if I did. I don't know if I remember doing the transparency. I think I know I talked about it. So I think it probably thinks that this border up here, is this the transparency or is this a color? Nope, I chose a color. Okay, so that's not a transparency. I don't know, this may be too light and it may think it's a transparency. I didn't make it very big. Okay, so I don't know where it thinks the transparency is. I'm not going to worry about it right now because it's not a fake book. I think all of these are, there's no transparency on them, 100%. Just double checking the images just to make sure there's no transparency. What I'm doing is clicking on the little grid up there in the corner. Just going to double check that there's no transparency. I didn't do anything. Yeah, it's 100%. Okay. So I don't have any transparency that I can see. Now, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So I don't know. So I'm not going to worry about it. Lulu thinks that there's a transparency. So at some point, there might be something. I think the other thing I could do is flatten out this particular image. As you can see, This young lady is, she's a standalone image. These words are all standalone images and they're not what they call flat. So let me show you how to deal with when Lulu says to flatten things out. What you're going to do is you're going to download whichever page you feel like you've got a lot of stacked images. Because see, there's the outside frame, then there's this, that's 2, 3, 4. I don't know why this is doing this. So outside 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the signature block is another block, and then I have a line somewhere in the middle of this. So there's a lot of layers on this first cover. So to fix that, what I can do is I can download the cover. Now I can download the cover in the best print because I didn't mean to do that. I can download the cover in the best print. I am not hitting anything I wanted to hit. Okay, let's get to the right stuff. Clearly I can't chew gum and talk at the same time. So you can download the cover alone in print. And then if you want to download the inside pages as standard, you can do that. So it's going to allow this particular graphic for the cover to be the best. Like it's going to, download it as the best cover. I'm going to click on this little drop down triangle. I'm going to unselect all of them and I'm just going to select the cover and I'm going to click done. That's going to download it as its own document. And then I can re-upload this up to Lulu and it's all flat. There's no clicking because everything is flat. So that is what it means by flatten it, is because it detected a whole bunch of different blocks within Canva and it picked up on that. So if you download it as a standalone PDF and then upload it, you can do that and that will resolve that issue. So I'm not going to deal with this orange message, but those are the two reasons why it would have the transparency. One, it has too many layers, too many elements on one page, and Lulu's picking up on that. Or number two, it has it does have a true transparency, and then you want to go change that transparency to a solid color. And I think we did that exercise previously. All right, so since it's already uploaded and it's not a lot of pages, it says it's 9 pages, doing 8.5 by 11. It detected my size. So my size was inside of Canva. Remember, your size is here, and you decide what your size is going to be. So Canva picked up on what my size was. Then it's asking me questions about the interior. So if you're going to do something like, you're going to do something like a cookbook, then you probably want to do premium color, or you can do standard color, either one of those. If you want, if you're going to do like a magazine or a photo book, it's going to have a lot of pictures that are like high quality pictures. I would encourage you to do premium color. If you feel like, and you can always order a sample. I've ordered samples. It just takes a little bit to get your samples. But if you feel like I'm okay with standard cover, or either I'm going to order 2 different sets and I'm going to name the cover so I'll know which one is which when it arrives, you can do that as well. So I'm going to go with standard black and white just so I can get to a place where I can figure out the pricing. The next thing is the colors, and I think we talked about this before when we first looked at Lulu. And so the softer color is easier on the eyes over time. So you're a person that's picking up your book and or planner and or whatever it's going to be does not get eye fatigue. So that's a common one to choose. If you want, thicker paper, heavier weight paper, and you want a slight coating on that, if they're going to be using highlighters and they're going to be using markers of any type, then you probably want the 80 weight. And that's going to help guarantee that there isn't a lot of bleeding through. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the cream. And then it's asking me, what do I want? So since it detected that it's only 9 pages. So it's like, you don't need any of these. Basically, it's telling me you don't need any of the above because you don't have enough. So I can make it a spiral bound book, or I can make it a saddle stitch. I'll choose saddle stitch. And then it's asking me if I want the cover to be glossy or matte, and I'll choose matte. And right now, my book is going to cost me $3.94. If I change any of these, I could change it to glossy. The book price changes. It doesn't change at all. It's still $3.94. If I come up here and I do coil, I can come back and I can look at the price. Oh, and I got to choose glossy or matte. $6.09 versus $3.34. If I want to do the heavier paper, and then I come down, I choose saddle stitch, I choose matte, $3.98. If I decide I'm going to do coil and matte, and you could do glossy if you want to, $6.13. So again, you can come in here and play with a couple of different things to try and figure out which one's going to be most cost effective for you. If you want to change it to premium, you can choose premium. And then you can come down and you set, because it's premium, cream is not an option. So I only have these two as an option. And I'll choose saddle stitch and I'll choose a matte finish. And then it's going to calculate my price. $5.26. Interesting. Okay. So, wow. And I chose black and white standard and it's this premium color. I don't know why it's less. Oh, because it's not really less. I had coil before. Okay. So it's more. It is more. It was $3.98 before. Now it's $5.26. So that makes sense. So in any case, after you figure out what you want to do, then the next thing is to upload a cover. I feel like we've already done a cover thing before and I can't remember where it is. Children's book, flashcard. Is it this one? Untitled design. No, template cover. This one, the trashy cover. All right, this is the one that was all jacked up, and we created one before. Now, the thing that I want you to keep in mind is that when you do a cover, they're going to tell you what the dimensions need to be for that cover. It's saying that my dimensions need to be 17.25 by 11.25 because I have an 8.5 by 11 book. It is required. And so if it doesn't like the cover, this will be red instead of orange. So orange is sort of like the caution, yellow caution tape. Green means you're good to go if your section is green. And if it's red, that means you are not going to be able to move on until you resolve this issue. So you need to know, based on the size of book that you chose, what the dimensions of the cover needs to be. And then now, this is where we were looking at this previously. I have my margins, which I can turn off or on. I have my bleed, which means I need to go all the way to the edges or not. I have my fold. The fold was right here in the middle. And I have my trim, which was the black outlines. Depending on what it is that you're printing, if you feel like it's something that's going to go to the edges, you have to decide what you want to do. As I kind of scroll through my book, again, my cover has now, this is where you can see where Lulu didn't like it, because you see the little girl has that little shadow around her. And so Lulu picked up on, hey, you got something going on with that photo that you chose. So if I flattened that photo and re-uploaded it to Lulu as a single page and replaced the page that I had in there before, I wouldn't see this at all. It would be gone. Okay. So then the next page, again, looking at my margins, looking at whatever it is that I'm doing. Okay. You can see up here. So if I take this off, if I wanted that shadow effect, take all of that, trim. You can see I have that shadow effect at the top of the page there. And then your back, whatever you decide you're going to do. And if you want a back cover, you can decide on that. And then once I am done, let's just say it's done, just really not, but anyway, then I can revise my book at any time. It says to review your book and confirm and publish. So I'm happy with it. If I'm happy with it, then I can click on the confirm and publish. and it moves on to, hey, if you want to ship this to somebody, this is your price. Versus if I want to revise it and come back and fix anything, and I click on the revise button and I get to change again. Okay. Any questions on that? All right. So that's the process to get your book uploaded to Lulu and to get it published or get it printed. If you want to publish it, there's going to be a couple of extra steps that you need to go through. If you need to get an ISBN, there's going to be a step in there where it allows you to get an ISBN from them. Or if you've already bought one, you can put, your ISBN if you already bought one. So I hope that's helpful. It is, like I said, I feel like it's one of the simpler processes. With KDP, you just don't know where you're starting from sometimes. And so with Lulu, they give you a visual representation of where you're starting from. And that's the reason why I think it's easier to understand. You can take these action steps and you can go do the same action steps. They're going to be similar, not the same. On KDP, you just won't have all the pictures as your guide. You'll just have a lot of words as your guide. So I hope this is helpful. We're going to continue tomorrow working on this awesome book. I can't believe today is Wednesday. And then we're going to start doing some review Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Thursday. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday. So with that, I am going to say goodbye for now, unless you have some additional questions.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
How much would a ISBN number cost typically?
I think we bought like 10. Oh God. It was like 10 for like $200 ISBN if you buy it. But on a lot of the platforms, they'll let you, like if you publish with them or you do stuff with them, they'll give you a free ISBN. So 10 ISBNs, $295. And one ISBN is $125, 100 ISBNs is $575, 1,000 is $1,500. So if you want the barcode with it, and it depends on if you're going to be publishing as to whether or not you need, expanding out to where the book is going to have to be scanned. So an example would be, getting your book inside of getting it into Barnes & Noble, Sam's Club, all of that other stuff, where there's going to be a bar versus just the numbers. So that's the difference between buying it with the bar and without the bar. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does.
Okay. So for me, I made the decision I was going to buy some ISBNs because I knew I wanted my books to be available, as I keep talking about, forever. Like some of the books will be available forever. Like a planner that's a dated planner will not be available forever. Like it has a shelf life. But other things that you create and put out in the universe won't have a shelf life. And so there's an opportunity for you to sell it in other places as well. Okay. All right. Well, I will talk with you all tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.